Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are connecting from across the globe. Welcome to the 12th West African Internet Governance Forum, the WAIGF, with the overarching theme, Digital Inclusion and Access in West Africa in response to COVID-19. To kick off, you will be listening to introductory remarks from Nma Uduma, the WAIGF coordinator, Marcus Kuma, the chairman, Internet Governance Forum Support Association, Makane Faye, the planning committee chairman for the WAIGF, Chengetai Masango from the IGF Secretariat, and Dr. Zouli Bonkoungou, the ECOWAS Commissioner for Telecommunications and Information Technologies. The video shall be played shortly, and then we'll have live speeches as well. Thank you.
They've been organizing seminars and webinars for that matter, for themselves and by themselves. They are the backbone to the preparation of this great meeting. Here we are again in 2020, sorry. We are launching the first virtual. We have put together great agenda and have invited experts from all over the world to come share with us, discuss, engage, and share their experiences, and also help us to be able to come up with implementable recommendations. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme is digital inclusion and access, even as we respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. And we'll also be looking at the roadmap to achieving the 2030 digital transformation in West Africa. We want to acknowledge our sponsors, ISOC, ICANN, Web Foundation, IGFSA, IGF Secretariat, AFRINIC, more especially the ECOWAS Commission. Commissioner Sir, we are so grateful to you for accepting to host this meeting. Thank you, Commissioner. Ladies and gentlemen, we have great coffee breaks. Please don't miss it. And I want to acknowledge my colleagues as well, those that have worked with me to put together this program. Please sit down, engage, discuss. Let us come out with actionable recommendations for the West Africa Internet governance stakeholders. Thank you.
Of Niger, Chair of the Foreign Affairs Standing Committee of the Parliament. High-level panel participants, dear stakeholders, it gives me pleasure to address this August West African IGF as a virtual meeting for the first time. This West African IGF put together is going to deal with COVID-19 pandemics, which drives the main theme of this conference. The team was broken down into 3 sub-teams as follows: human rights in relation, cybersecurity, trust and privacy, and emerging technologies. I wish to sincerely thank the developers of the terms of reference, of the main team and sub-teams who volunteered to undertake this sterling engagement. I would like to name Consulate Ileleji of the Gambia, Yunusa Traore of Burkina Faso, Vivian Asangbe from Benin, Adisu Adisa of Nigeria, Adama Jallo of the Gambia, and Emmanuel Vitus of Togo. Special recognition to Adama Jallo, who was the only lady who volunteered to be a sub-team coordinator. An innovation this year is that the coordinators of the main team and sub-teams have been assigned a rapporteur's role in order to better capture discussions in the team they had developed earlier. I thank them in advance together with the other rapporteurs, panelists, and moderators. Without them, we will not achieve the desired outcome, which is to use ICTs to lessen and combat the negative impact of COVID-19 in West Africa. I will conclude by thanking the support team from ECOWAS Commission led by Folake Olagungu, West African IGF Coordinator Nma Uduma, with the full support of Joshua, who has been working tirelessly to get you the required information on time. Finally, we salute the high-level role played by Raphael Kofi, whose continuous leadership has facilitated the work of the planning committee. Dear participants, panelists, moderators, rapporteurs, partners, sponsors, and stakeholders, the real work will begin in a few minutes with the high-level panel, and we hope that we will deliver with high standard to meet the expectations of ECOWAS Commission and of our member states. Thank you all, and best wishes for successful deliberations.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, I am Marcus Kummer. I'm the chair of the IGF Support Association's Executive Committee. It gives me great pleasure to deliver a message to your meeting on behalf of the IGF SA. Let me start by explaining who we are and what our purpose is. The IGF SA was set up in 2014 with the purpose, and I quote from our Articles of Association, to promote and support the global IGF as well as the national and regional IGF initiatives. And our scope article says that we should provide funds to maintain and strengthen the IGF Secretariat and national regional IGF initiatives, to seek and promote exchange and collaboration with national and regional IGF initiatives, to identify new sources of funding and facilitate funding of the IGF, and make contributions to the IGF administered by the United Nations. Now, so far, we have been recognized by the UN as a contributor to the IGF Trust Fund, and we have contributed US $260,000 to the trust fund so far. And we have made contributions to the NRIs of US $235,000, and these contributions are expected to grow. If you look at the NRI map that has been developed by the IGF Secretariat, you can see that it's a really, truly impressive global network by now. And this is reflected in the IGF SA support. In 2015, we supported 23 NRIs. In 2016, 28, and last year we supported 41, and this number is expected to grow. Now, let me take a step back and explain why we think this is important. If we look back at WIS's outcome in 2005, there was a chapter devoted to internet governance, and its main message was the internet governance, it's not just the business of governments. Governments can't do it alone. They need the input of all stakeholders. They need to work with the private sector. It is the private sector that makes the investments. They have to work with the technical community. It's a technical community that develops the technology and the standards. And they also have to work with civil society. Civil society plays an important role as a watchdog. This is what has been commonly known as the multi-stakeholder approach. The global debate we have in the IGF, it is important. It is important for the exchange of information, for the sharing of good practices, for learning from each other, and for shaping global opinion and policies. But good internet governance begins at home, and here is where the NRIs play an important role. Many policy decisions with real impact on the internet are taken at the national or regional level. Governments are the ultimate decision makers, but the NRIs provide a platform to give input into the decision-making process. Multi-stakeholder participation is not an end in itself. It is a means towards an end. The ultimate objective of multi-stakeholder policy dialogue on issues pertaining to the internet, and that's from the definition of the IGF as it was set out in the Tunis agenda. The ultimate objective of this is to have a better internet, an internet that is global, open, interoperable, stable, and secure. And the contribution the NRIs can make to this end is to have better and effective participative governance of a global resource, the internet. The NRIs play an important role in shaping decisions. They have a real impact. And with this, I wish you an excellent meeting. Thank you for your attention.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor for me to connect with you today during the 12th West African Internet Governance Forum. My compliments go to the West African IGF Organizing Committee for all the work they have done over the years. And I would also like to recognize Nma Uduma, known to many of us as the mother of the West African IGF, for her tireless work in the region and the global IGF. As you're all aware, we are living in extraordinary times, and issues of inclusion, access, have never been so important as we try and cope in this period of uncertainty. The UN has put particular emphasis this year in ways it can help mitigate the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, I have been asked to talk about one of these efforts. On 11th June 2020, the United Nations Secretary General launched the Roadmap for Digital Cooperation, the result of a multi-year, multi-stakeholder global effort to address a range of issues related to the internet, artificial intelligence, and other digital technologies. The report presented the Secretary General's recommendations for concrete action by all stakeholders that would enhance the global digital cooperation in 8 key action areas. The first of these action areas being achieving universal connectivity by 2030. And the global connectivity champions were the government of Uganda, the ITU, and UNICEF. Under this action items, it would include the use of digitally enabled services in line with the Sustainable Development Goals, and the United Nations would support efforts to establish a baseline of digital connectivity that individuals need to access the online space, as well as a definition of affordability, including universal targets and metrics. They would convene a global group of investors and financing experts to consider the development of a financing platform and find other new models for investment in connectivity, in particular in hard-to-reach rural areas. Promote new and potentially transformative models to accelerate connectivity and promote the development of enabling regulatory environments for smaller scale internet providers, along with local regional assessments of connectivity needs. The second area was promoting digital public goods. And this is to unlock a more equitable world. The internet's open source public origins should be embraced and supported. The third area was ensuring digital inclusion for all, including the most vulnerable, underserved groups that need equal access to digital goods and to accelerate development. This means also the gender dimension, women, the disabled, etc. And the champions for this was the government of Mexico and UN Women. The fourth one is strengthening digital capacity building, skills development and training as needed around the world. The fifth area is ensuring the protection of human rights in the digital area. Human rights apply both online and, of course, offline as well. Supporting global cooperation on artificial intelligence, that is the sixth area, and artificial intelligence that is trustworthy, human rights-based, safe and sustainable, and that promotes peace. The seventh area is promoting digital trust and security. I mean, as you know, there's a lot of trust issues and security issues pertaining to social media and basically everything that you see on the internet. And the eighth and final area was to build a more effective architecture for digital cooperation. And under this, building a more effective architecture for digital cooperation, this included an enhanced IGF or an IGF plus model for global digital cooperation. And more consultations are happening, and we are working hand in hand with the champions, which are the UAE, Germany, and of course the Fabricio Hochschild's office. We will, of course, be working towards implementing what the recommendations did, especially recommendation 93 and recommendation 5A and 5B, addressing the long-term sustainability of the forum, enhancing the IGF MAG to make it more effective and to better serve the needs, enhancing our capacity building efforts, etc. So we'll be working with you, and hopefully that you will also be able to participate. And lastly, I'll just like to say a few words about the virtual IGF that we're going to be holding at the end of this year. So the global IGF is going to be virtual, and it's going to be at the end of October to middle of November. And we will be giving more information about that as time goes on. And hopefully we'll be able to send out an email with the schedule at the beginning of next week. With that, let me stop there, and thank you very much for your attention.
Yes. Excellence, Monsieur le ministre de l'Information et des Communications de la Sierra Leone, Monsieur le Président de l'Association.
Your Excellency Minister, for this IGF forum, Mr. the manager of the Internet Forum, Madam from the Internet Governance Forum for West Africa, dear members of ECOWAS, ladies and gentlemen, it's with a great pleasure that I'm welcoming you in the name of the chairman of the ECOWAS, George Akibru, for this West African Forum on Internet Governance. IT technologies play an important and essential role in the development of West Africa without borders, competitive in all areas of activity, with free circulation of services, of goods and people in a pacific environment and in a democratic environment. In this perspective, today, we are doing something that is unique in history for this IGF West Africa. We are having a virtual forum. As you all know, this is connected with the COVID-19 pandemic. which had negative impacts worldwide, and we had difficulties, uncertainties, and a very complex planification and scheduling, where traveling was very difficult for everyone.
The COVID-19 crisis led first to a bigger dependency on IT systems, but also mobile devices and internet are more needed to work, to study, and to receive information, and also to alleviate the impact of social distancing. But there are also evidence showing that some evil entities can use the internet to spread fake news or carry out cyber attacks. In this context, the general framework of this edition 2020 is tackling the reaction to COVID-19 and is reflecting the current situation we are going through. This virtual meeting of the forum is meant to strengthen active participation of different stakeholders in our initiative, and also to discuss internet governance. Among others, using internet and using different digital opportunities in the crisis of the COVID-19 context and beyond. And we have a number of sessions that are supposed to tackle different topics that require our focus so that we can ensure that the development of the region goes in the proper direction with positive impact for the population. It is about emerging technology, AI, big data, Internet of Things, blockchain, etc. Cyber security, awareness raising, and human rights. Please let me also recognize, acknowledge, and thank the ECOWAS Commission. Thank you to all the partners who have led to the organization of this forum. It's the Commission of the African Union, Afrinic, ICANN, ISOC, World Wide Web Foundation. Thank you. And I also wanted to repeat that we are engaged in the ECOWAS Commission's initiative to create a positive environment for civic society and to include the population of the region. The committee will do whatever it can so that the recommendations that will result from this meeting, as usual, are presented and adopted by the statutory bodies of the ECOWAS so that we can guarantee response and proper actions to develop our region. And I wish you all a very fruitful and interesting forum. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner. Thank you all for the opening remarks, which tie together the reasons why we are all here today.